here? We're hearing Klay Thompson, we're hearing Jonas Valanciunas. Who do you have your eye on?
I like Klay. I love Klay for the Lakers. I mean, you think about it, right? When you think about AD and Bron, you need to surround them with shooters, right? Klay Thompson is at the stage of his career. It's not even about the two-way Klay Thompson that we seen when he was in his prime with Golden State. It's about catch and shoot Klay Thompson, getting the ball on time, on target, and what he would bring to the table for the Los Angeles Lakers, especially under their new coach in JJ Redick, who I heard on plenty of occasions when he was, calling games, talking about, the Laker roster and that they need more shooting. So I'm looking at Klay Thompson and the Los Angeles Lakers. To me, it's a perfect match.
So if LeBron takes a pay cut, but I need you guys to help me out here. Klay would most likely be taking a pay cut, right?
Sorry to interrupt, guys. Sacramento Kings are in pursuit of Brandon Ingram. And the Warriors did decline Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins for Zach LaVine. I wonder why. But as you know, Kevin Porter Jr. just signed with the Clippers. And the Clippers are working on a Russell Westbrook trade a day after he opts into his $4 million deal.
Most likely your last contract. Are you really going to just sign a mid-level exception and then go to the Lakers when there's probably more money to be had other places?
So here's the interesting thing. Woj just reported the Lakers have agreed to a 4-year, $32 million deal with Max Christie. That's $8 more million or $7 more million, whatever it is, below the hard cap first apron before LeBron decides how much he's going to make. So they're running out of wiggle room to open up that big mid-level exception that we're talking about for guys like Klay and Jonas Valanciunas. So what does that mean for D'Angelo Russell, who just opted into his contract? Can you have D'Lo, Reeves, and Klay Thompson all in a theoretical starting lineup? What's happening here, what I think is most interesting is between this thing we're talking about, between drafting Dalton Connect and having it be a big win for them, it seems like the Lakers are moving on from the idea of getting a third star, using their picks and all that to get a third star, and building around depth, long-term sustainability around LeBron and AD, which is kind of not what we had heard they were going to try to do 2-3 months ago, and I think that's probably smart. And the last thing is, you mentioned Klay and shooting. Just as a resource allocation thing, I'm not using my biggest chip on a center. I love Jonas Valanciunas, but AD's got to play center when the chips are down.
So I'm going to make this very simple. The Lakers cannot afford Klay Thompson right now. The only way it's going to work is if they make another trade to offload salary. LeBron James is not taking a $35 million pay cut. He will take a pay cut. He's not coming down to a massive amount of money. So they need to make another trade in the interim before Klay Thompson makes up his mind, probably with D'Angelo Russell.
That's why I mentioned
other options, probably. And if you look at the teams that are trying to get Klay before the Lakers do, one of them is the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
The Dallas Mavericks have already made their trade to reduce their salary. They have made Tim Hardaway trade with Detroit. They are ahead of the Lakers. The Lakers right now have to do something else before they can honestly make an offer for Klay. The other team I would watch for is the LA Clippers. This is Klay's hometown here in LA. If the Clippers lose Paul George, they would have some flexibility to make an offer for Klay Thompson. But don't sit there and assume that Klay's going to sign with the Lakers here at 6:01 Eastern. The Lakers got to do another deal first.
LeBron James is not taking a pay cut or considering taking a pay cut for the Lakers' future. It's for the now. LeBron James wants to win right now. LeBron James knows the pressure that he has, right? And I don't want to take it out of context, but to the fact of we can all speculate, but JJ Redick was a LeBron James hire. We know this, right? And so he wants JJ to be successful. How can JJ be successful? By LeBron James being the best version of himself, but also making sure that the pieces match up. That's why he want to take a pay cut. It's not for the Lakers' future. It's because LeBron won another shot at it. And to be honest with you, they wasn't that far off from last year when you think about it. It's only one team that the Lakers wasn't beating in the playoffs. That was the Denver Nuggets. Any other team, I feel like they could have beat Minnesota. They could have beat Oklahoma City. They could have beat the Dallas Mavericks in the 7-game series. I mean, so they wasn't far off, but I feel like he's considering taking a pay cut to get a third star kind of player.
Well, it depends what you define as a star, right? I don't think Klay Thompson is a quote-unquote star at this point in his career. But look, first of all, I don't want any of your toes. Don't bet any of your toes. I don't want any of them. Second of all, there's no question LeBron is doing this to win today, to win now. He does not care that much about the Lakers' future. And as a perk, the Lakers aren't far off. coulda, woulda, shoulda. You just coulda, woulda, shoulda. They won one playoff game. You got to win 12 just to get out of the West, man. There's a difference between being competitive against Denver and not being afraid of Dallas, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, who's, by the way, loading up and has cap space to spend, and beating 3 of those teams 4 times. They were far. Just say it. They were far.
They were far. That's his statement. That's his statement. I'm saying matchup.
They weren't far. They lost. They won one game.
Bro, Zach, was you watching the game? They were up.
Yes, it's like, yes.
Hold on, time out. In 3 of those games, they were up by double figures. Okay, so my thing is we know that Denver was not the matchup for the Lakers.
Right.
Outside of the Nuggets, they could beat anybody else.
But the fact of the matter is, when you look at their roster right now, it looks almost identical to the roster that they had at the end of last season. And we keep talking about, okay, LeBron James taking a pay cut. What actual pay cut are we talking about that would make it so that they upgrade to the point of not being a 7 seed in the West that has to claw through a conference that, by the way, probably has 13 teams that are seriously playoff contenders here?
It just depends on who it is. Like when Dave's story came out yesterday and said that he was going to take a pay cut for Jonas Valanciunas, as accurate as it might have been, I almost passed out. With all due respect to Jonas Valanciunas, I don't see LeBron James leaving a lot of money on the table for a middle of the pack center. But for Klay Thompson, that's a different story. But to get there, I'm telling you, there's another deal they got to do. The Lakers, to pull off what LeBron is offering here, the Lakers need to make a series of moves, and they need to hit them all on time and on target. And I just think that's got to be recognized, that we're talking about the Lakers here with Klay Thompson. We should be talking about the Mavericks. We should be talking about other options.
When we're talking about on time, on target, and moves that need to be made, it seems like we need to bring in Mr. Money Moves himself, Bobby Marks, our front office insider, to map all of these things out. So, Bobby, what can the Lakers actually do here in free agency?
Well, the magic number for right now is $178 million. That's the first apron. Came down $700,000. All the money matters here. Lakers are at $140 million. That includes that Max Christie new number here. Here's the pay cut you guys are looking at. He's set to make $25 million. He would have to take a $25 million haircut in order to get Klay Thompson. This is not with a trade or anything. This is just straight out. Thompson's number is right around 12.5, and you get there, that's that 177. It's about $1 million. That hard caps him. That leaves him little flexibility. So when Brian was talking about trades, you're certainly looking at D'Angelo Russell. You're certainly looking at Gabe Vincent. If you're Rob Pelinka, you're calling Detroit. You're calling Charlotte. Teams that have cap space to try to offset that Russell money here. Certainly sign and trade with Golden State would help also with Klay, but the Lakers have work to do here, and if they want LeBron James to take a $25 million pay cut, they're going to have to offset some salary.
Okay, Bobby, thank you so very much. I want to bring in 2 people who certainly have a unique perspective on all of this, are Ramona Shelburne and Dave McMenamin, who both cover the Los Angeles Lakers for us. Ramona, starting with you, what is the Lakers' strategy here?
Well, look, Klay Thompson was born to be a Laker. Literally, his father, Michael Thompson, was playing for the Lakers and is on the Laker broadcast team. But I think with the Lakers, and Brian was mentioning this earlier, they're behind because Dallas has already done the work. They've done that Tim Hardaway trade. And if you're Golden State right now, you want to try to get something back for Klay Thompson. And this incentivizes Klay to do a sign and trade because he can get more than that mid-level exception. Dallas has a $16 million trade exception already because of the trade that they did for Tim Hardaway. That's more than 13. That's easy math, right? Perk, you can do that? 16 more than 13.
Wow.
Okay.
Shots fired.
I got you. Okay.
I know numbers.
Millions.
But right now, Dallas is ahead. And so if you're the Lakers, you have to try to do some work here. It can be, you have to do something to get something back for Golden State, or to get more money for Klay. So it's not just about, you mentioned a haircut, $50 million to 25. That's not a haircut. That's just going bald. I mean, that's shaving everything off.
There's nothing wrong with that, right, Richard?